That the Committee of the Whole recommend that Renfrew Town Council approve the contracting of JP2G within the terms of their standing offer to complete a detailed site investigation and prepare a report with recommendations and cost estimates to replace existing outdoor lighting at Mattaway Park and delay any work until 2025. Mover, please. Councillor Legree, second by Councillor Sobalski, and I will turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Sidney. After the staff report on September 24th, 2024, Council directed staff to investigate a little bit more about the underground lines to the power supplies and power boxes supplying Tye, Sealy, and Rushlow fields. Local electricians visited Mattaway Park on between October 1st and October 3rd to test the underground lines, and Megger testing revealed that essentially the majority of those lines were in need of repair or replacement. That in mind, we are recommending that we go to JP2G to kind of complete a full, almost redesign of the system in a way that will be both effective and cost efficient. With that in mind, the electrician that was on site did suggest some potential solutions as well that were included in the staff report, and estimates on those projects did come in after the staff report was filed. Those estimates ranged from $121,000 plus HST to about $171,000 plus HST. So with that in mind, we thought JP2G would be a good first step to do a redesign replacement at a much lower cost of just south of $4,000 plus HST. That project, the engineering project, would start within 1 week of the contract award and would be prepared within 4 weeks of the contract award, which would mean that we are delaying any work until 2025, which will mean that we're delaying some field usage in the spring. That said, a facility usage report showed that from May 1st, 2024 until September 30th, 2024, there was only about 87 hours or 87.5 hours exactly of usage after 8 p.m. So essentially lit ball diamond time. And so accordingly, we could request that JP2G prioritize the work in such a way to complete Tye, followed by Rushlow, followed by Sealy, and the Toboggan Hill. So as we mentioned on September 24th, kind of phasing that work. That being said, if we do that, a solar light would need to be procured for the Toboggan Hill to get us through to spring 2025.
Councillor Legree.
Through you, Mayor Sidney. Just a question on, so they'll be able to use the fields in the spring, just no lighting, correct? Or will that be dug up with wiring and stuff too, or no?
My understanding would be there would be some time they could use the field without lights. There may be times where it's out of commission for a day or a week, but my understanding would be we would have it online, so to speak.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Mayor, through you. And I'm just wondering, I've been approached by several people that use the dog park, and it's a complete darkness, especially as we get into this time of year. Is there something we can do there? We're doing the solar powered for the Toboggan Hill. Is there something we can do for the dog park area too to help with the darkness?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. My recommendation on that would be to look at solar-powered lights in the dog park as well. Avoid any need for trenching lines out to the dog park, but some solar power in the dog park would make sense, especially if we are looking at one for the Toboggan Hill at the same time.
You good? Councillor Sobalski?
Real quick, I'll ask a question and maybe I'll move it over to Councillor Dick. Just, I didn't get a chance to go through it. What's the hourly rate that we would bill the ball diamonds out for, please?
I don't have that. I'm sorry, through you, Mayor Sidney. I don't have that offhand, but I'd be happy to find it for you.
Can you give me ballpark, please?
I believe we're looking at roughly, it's in the $100 an hour range, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I'll happily let the treasurer answer that question for you.
Through you, Mayor Sidney.
Yes.
I'll try not to ramble, but I don't feel that there's near enough information to make a decision on this right now. Other than I know we're just talking about engineering, but what's the overall goal of the engineering? Are they going to assess what type of lights are in each fixture? Are they going to assess the poles that they're hanging from? Are we going to assess all the wires coming to the ground? We've been given some information, but I feel that I really need to know what we're chasing. I really need to know what a full in-depth understanding is of what we're looking at in comparison to what a partial fix into a minor fix could be. I really want to know what we're after here for this request for the engineering help. I'm not quite sure I understand exactly what we're trying to achieve right now.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Sidney. The scope of the JP2G project would be just the underground lines, power boxes, enclosures, that kind of thing. The poles and lights themselves would be left as they are. It would just be to supply the power to those poles.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor
I'm not sure I'm ready to commit to spend money to figure out something. The lights that are powering the fields, do we know what kind of technology they are? Do we know how much energy they use? Do we know if we were to update the system fully, would we need to put as much power in the ground, therefore reducing the cost that we have to spend for underground wiring? Do we know what the full package truly could entail? Or is this the best step for today and we have to deal with another problem tomorrow? If we're going to spend money on engineering, I want to make sure that the engineering package is designed so that we don't find ourselves only understanding half the issue.
Sure. Acting CEO has some.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Sidney. Councillor Spelsey, so we have to start somewhere. Yeah. The lights, my understanding, are not that old. I have to look back, but they are not that old in the grand scheme of things. So this would at least, what they're also able to do is tell us if there's alternate routes, if there's ways that perhaps, like we had a couple of electricians suggest there may be another route that we could go from, the pavilion out. So I think to start somewhere, what we know right now is that all of the underground wiring failed. It's failed. So for us, this is at least the most cost-effective way to get us on the route and at least start to move towards getting that project done. My concern is that how far do we go back? From our discussions with electricians, obviously I'm not an electrician, neither is Acting Director Eckford, so at least the engineer would give us a good sense of where to start, and then hopefully we can come forward with more information or new information and say kind of this is what we found out, this is what we feel the next step should be to get a bigger picture or a fuller picture of where we need to go. My concern is that we have been getting a variety of ways forward from various companies. I would, from my view, I would like to have an engineer sort of help us forward with that, but that's just,
Follow-up?
Yeah, thank you, through you, Mayor. And I agree. You heard me say it earlier. I know the engineering survey, but I just want to make sure that we've got the right scope. And although I know it was just an estimate at 87 hours played with the lights on this year at $100 an hour.
It's not $100 now.
It's not? Sorry.
No, sorry. Just through you, Mayor. Ball diamonds, so minor ball with lights is $34 per game, and adult with lights is $45 per game.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just doing a bit of math, everyone. I apologize. So that's 3,800 games that we have to play to break even on the cost at $171,000. I'm just doing some simple math. Anyways, I'll leave it at that.
Acting Director?
Thank you, through you, Mayor. I should note as well, if I'm not mistaken, the genesis of this entire project was supplying power to the dog park, ironically, and sufficient power to Rushlow Field. So ensuring that we have sufficient power to the existing lights would be part of the scope of that JP2G project.